Everybody has everybody has their own culture, and I guess maybe in that vernacular, yeah, everybody has their own culture. I'm still standing on that. That's a reality.
If you're foreign, you're not from America. You're from another country, and you're Russian, and you come here, right? Okay, their skin color is
I wasn't
similar.
talking about coming to America. I'm saying in their space, in their world, that is their culture.
Right, but still, and still, we're
So
still
by me identifying that is a reality, it should not feel racist for me to sit up there and say,
but what you're saying is, what she's saying is, you have to be specific because white people were basically all immigrants, right? But
absolutely,
if you were born here and you were raised here, there is an American culture versus there being a Russian culture or there being
absolutely.
a
This
European
is
culture.
this.
Even though we still have similar, but we still have similar things because I mean, hello, the Europeans came over here and raped the land and all that shit. So what I'm saying is, what I think, what I was taking what you were saying is, there's people that say they don't want to date white women mainly only because they can't relate to them. I think that's what you were trying to say. Am I right?
That's a second
If
component.
I can't relate
That's
to
a
your
second
culture,
component.
that's what you're
I'm not saying
saying.
that you're wrong, but that's a second component. My
Well,
my
okay, so
origin
if you're
my
born,
origin of feeling
let me
like
know.
that was because um like I said initially, I was like, when you sit up there and see a white woman dating a black man, it is is characteristic. White men only date I mean
Characteristic.
black men only date white women because of their subservience.
That's not true.
Exactly.
Now, I'm not gonna say that that doesn't happen because I would be lying, but that's not true. Not 100% true.
Mm-mm.
Okay,
Some people,
I'm
they,
open.
you like who you like. You can't help it.
I get that. And then when I said it was
You like who you
Wait,
preferential,
like. And
wait.
then there are some men that do date white women because, okay, I'm not saying all black people are poor, but let's just be real. White people are generation. They have generational wealth. I've seen black men date white women because their families got money and
absolutely.
opportunity. It looks more. It looks better to be with a white girl than struggle with the black chick. I get it. I've seen it, but
That's
I'm not
true.
gonna say that's the whole reason because I've seen people fall in love. You can't help who you like or love
Right.
or you're
Absolutely.
attracted to.
But when I
You know what I'm
mentioned,
saying?
when I meant, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off back.
No, you good.
When I said it was preferential, we had a disconnect on that because she felt like they were
Hmm.
being racist. They were racist.
Yes, because they were basing it solely on
And
the race of the person and not the lifestyle of the person.
I said preference should not be a definition. Did I
Hmm?
not?
What
Okay.
you mean the definition?
Let me give you
Definition as far as
a
defining somebody's being, if they're still involved in the culture, if they're still around their people, if they're still sitting up there enveloped in whatever cultural means that they're involved in, then you know what I'm saying? If they just simply like to date them, and I sit up there and also broke this down to you. I said, take out only. If they said, I date white girls, it's preferential, right? Right?
what are you doing?
Right?
It's racist.
If I no, that was not your stance the other day.
Yes,
Your
my
stance the
stance is
other day
that
when I sat up there and
it's
took out that
preferential
word of
when
being
it's
only because you sat up there and argued the fact that it was exclusive and
yeah.
that it was
That's
racist
what I'm
as that.
saying.
And I said, okay, well let me take out the only. If
Right.
I date white girls,
Like you
you
have
did
dated white
you was
girls.
like, okay, that was
Well,
a
there's some
preferential
people that
moment. That was something
always
that you want to do.
Yeah,
That's
if
on
you
you.
only if you have done it, that's fine.
You
Only
said that
dating is not
that
that.
it closes the door.
Yeah, if you
When you
only if
put the
you're
only
saying
on
I
it, it
only
closes
do
the
this,
door
then
to
that means
me
that you're only doing
because
it.
of my complexion.
Yes, because of somebody's complexion. You're only
So
dating them
now, what
because
I'm
of their
re-saying
complexion.
is, what I'm re-saying is, because if with the distinction, with it being just only, why is that still not a preferential moment? He's still enveloped in his culture. He's still sitting up there going to Sunday dinners at our grandma's house. He's still doing his thing in the community.
And they're going to do that if you're dating somebody.
He's still doing all of them vernaculars, but he said, I only date white girls.
Okay, and there's plenty of men who date women who don't like women. They fuck women. They have kids with women. They don't like women. They don't even respect women.
But here's the thing.
So what are you talking about? Just because you're black and you're like, well, I've been around my grandmama and I was at my family thing.
So that is self-hate.
How was that self-hate, but the other one ain't?
Because if you don't like women, but you sitting up there claiming that you want to fuck with women, that's confused. That's a confused moment.
But what you're saying is the same thing. You're saying, well, they
know what they
doing stuff with their family and they doing stuff with community, but they just don't like black people.
They just don't want to date white women. They only want to exclusively date white women.
Why?
Because they see maybe some characteristics
but
past relationships that they were in with black women that made them go into that. No, it doesn't.
That's racist.
No, it doesn't. How's it racist?
Because listen to what you just said. What you're saying is if he had a past experience with a black person, then he decides to switch races. Instead of focusing on the person, you're acting like they're acting like this because of their race. And that because of this woman's race, she won't act like that too. It's racist. You cannot blame how somebody acts on the color of their skin.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But what I am saying is, if he sat up there and did a preferential moment with that moment was hypothetical, speaking on the background.
I gotta go clock in.
Okay, later.
See you, babe. Thank you.
Go ahead.
So, I just don't feel like somebody's preference again. I sat up there and did some reflection and thought moments, and was like, it's one of them agree to disagree moments. It really is. I just don't see it that way. I just don't. It's like saying that you only date doctors. So everybody else out the fold?
Yes. If you only date doctors, and what you're saying is that you believe that other people are either beneath them, or you're putting doctors on a higher scale than other people.
But why is that? What is that then? Is that elitist?
I forgot what the name is called.
Is that elitist?
No, it's something else. It's when you date. When you
exclusively date guys that are of a certain caliber.
Yeah, it's a word for that though.
Lori Harvey. Oh
no, it's an actual word.
I'm like, my bad. Lori Harvey should be in the dictionary, baby. Upgrading.
Oh, it's a
Beyonce.
I can't think of the word. When I think of the word, I'll be so pissed because it is a word, because we talked about it and saying that it happens today where they feel like because a lot of men try to accuse women of that. They try to accuse women of basically trying to date in a higher class than in men.
But
like,
the only man that's complaining about that is the men that don't have a shot with her in the first place.
Hypergamy. That's what it's called. Hypergamy is a term used in social science for the act or practice of a person marrying a spouse of a higher caste or social status than them. Hypergamy. And they say that women do that with men. They try to say women do that with men. Now, me personally, if you want to act like the upper class, you may find that in the upper class. And I can see why, because a man who has worked to, or even just got through family, even wealth or a certain class status, does not really usually want to date a woman higher in that class status, because it kind of takes away from their quote unquote masculinity.
So can I ask you a question?
But
you feel like
you don't find
that category?
Hold on, stop. You don't find that in middle class or lower middle class. You don't find that. You don't find women looking for a man in a higher tax bracket or a higher anything than them. You find
Yeah,
a man,
because
a woman
men
who wants
have
a
this
man.
superiority complex.
No, you just find a woman who wants a man. She just likes him. She like him and she want to date him. She don't give a fuck what he do. He cut grass. She don't give a fuck. She like him.
Where's these
But
women at?
everywhere because I don't see no broke niggas that's broke and don't have a woman. I don't see no niggas
I
in
know
here.
plenty
Well, where they living?
day to day
With a woman,
at their mama house.
with some woman,
At their mama house,
and I bet
sitting
you
up
they
there
fucking
picking
bitches.
and picking through bitches.
And they fucking bitches. So they're like I said, they have women. So women like them because they like them. It don't have to do with a class. It don't have to do with none of that. When you are in a lower and middle class, you ain't even looking for the class. Like you don't feel like you better than the next person either. You know the struggle you went through it. Most of the time they probably nice because they see the person, they feel like they see the potential. All they need is a little help and
I'm
they'll
mad
be
that
able
you
to
put
get
that
to
much
where I'm
emphasis
at.
on the She said potential.
Yes, because that's all it is.
Not
You
the
dating the
broke.
potential.
I love the way you just said. I can't stand you.
So that's what it is, though. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they just like them for them. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people have the mindset that you have. They got that mindset that you have where they think that because you're white, that you have a different kind of lifestyle, that you didn't grow up and have to struggle. Your lights ain't never been out. You ain't never had to
A
deal
lot of
with
black men,
walking
though.
through here and doing this that, and the other. And so therefore they don't see a connection with them because they think that they've grown up in this higher class just because they're white, which is also racist.
Let me say this. I will say a good 70%.
70%.
I will put a percentile on that. A good 70% of black people feel like white people are of a certain stature in America. We're going to place it solely in America. Of a certain stature in America.
Mm-hmm.
White privilege is there. Certain vernaculars of being able to do shit is there. Get away with shit is there. Um, the overlooking is there and present. So what I will say is this. I'm not saying that white people get away or have a certain moment of, I don't know, like they have their ways of doing shit. And that's, to me, their culture.
I don't think that's
Karen,
it.
Karens were invented for white people. You can't call a black person a Karen. I've never seen a black person get called a Karen.
A black person be called a Karen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because a Karen is about
They
white
might
people
have
who
some
come against black
Karen-esque
people.
qualities, but they're not getting
Karen-esque.
outwardly called a Karen because they're not sitting up there. When we do shit, it's justifiable to us and for us. We're not just flying off the motherfucking handle at Walmart. We're not just sitting up there going off the end of the Target. Now we have video. I mean, we can sit up there and go off and fly off at Target and Walmart, but you got to know, Gene was sitting up there, been waiting on their motherfucking feet for 4.5 hours in that motherfucking checkout at Walmart. The bitch sitting up there ringing her shit up wrong. They bagging her shit wrong. Then they want to sit up there and try to tell her that she ain't got the proper receipt at the motherfucking gate. That's when motherfucking Jane going the fuck off.
Yeah.
It's levels to our shit.
Well, it's levels to everybody's shit though. But
Karen mad before she even hit the motherfucking counter.
But with all of the white people in the world, Karens don't make up most of them.
But here's the
That's
problem
the same
too.
thing as
The Karens are becoming a little bit more
No, they're not. People just
prominent than
no,
they
they're
used
not.
to be.
People just now taping them.
The access, the technology of it all.
So it's not that. I mean, also people sometimes create that shit. They create the madness that comes with it. Like some situations can be avoided
It's the
regardless of the
entitlement.
principle.
White people have gotten extremely entitled over the last 10 years, I would say over the last 20 years. Y'all got extreme. They've got
excuse me. I don't know where have you been living where you talking about gotten. They were extremely entitled when they started just coming and bum rushing people off their fucking land. They were extremely entitled when they decided that because their culture was different than theirs, that you were now a savage and not worthy of being.
But you know, like they try to claim, that's not. You know, there's no evidence of that.
Evidence of what?
Because
ain't nobody ever said that shit. We know what the fuck was happening. They said that. Who said there wasn't no evidence of it? It's definitely evidence of it. We know it. It's history.
That is true.
We know what the fuck they did. They came, they raped, they pillaged, and all that shit. They know what they did because they want to keep on trying to make amends to everybody but us.
It's still a celebration of Columbus Day. There's still a celebration of Thanksgiving.
And the only place they do that is here. Because one friend that's Jamaican is like, oh, they tried to say Columbus discovered Jamaica, but there's people there before that. Like they hold down Columbus, but because we are not in charge of the government here, we're not really in charge of stuff here. We have to go along with the oppressors who are still in charge here.
To be in charge of that type of shit because they know.
And ain't no they no, it's because ain't nobody trying to be. That is the most defeatist mindset at this point, and just trying to basically amalgamate into the culture of your oppressor. And that's what's happening today.
Are these shrubs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fun.
Oh, that's why you were so motherfucking thoughtful. Ain't that a bitch?
Thoughtful. That's my name.
Girl.
Honey, the
You
thoughtful one.
You are. But I know every time
Racist
I hit on the scene, it seemed like
it's honey coming to you straight from Cleveland. From Cleveland, you don't wanna be missed. You don't wanna be missed. So subscribe, you sippin'. Sitting back, hoping you wishin'. So come on down to the bar, reload it. Anybody talking shit, then already fold it. Anybody talking shit, then already fold it. Fold it. Like, share, and comment. Like, subscribe, and comment. Like, share, and comment. Like, subscribe, and comment. We in the building. We in the building. We in the building. From St. Louis, the bar reloaded. We in the building. The bar reloaded. We in the building. From St. Louis, Florida, the building. The bar reloaded. Anybody talking shit, then already folded.